Imagine you're a kid in the early 90s who had just gotten home from school. You turn on the TV and the Warner Brothers logo turns into a police blimp. Nothing else seemed to matter because you knew it was time for Batman the Animated Series. Looking back 33 years later, this cartoon still stands the test of time, making it a timeless masterpiece. Join me as I explore what made this TV show so special. Many audiences are split on what was the perfect rendition of Batman. There's been numerous reincarnations of Batman over the decades in both live action and animation. However, one version of Batman consistently captivates audiences 33 years after its debut on daytime television. Nobody doubts how the characters are portrayed or how the stories are written. I'm talking about Batman the Animated Series. The summer of 1989 was referred to as Batmania. Batman had finally come to the big screen and was brought back to his dark roots after decades of campy storylines to keep concerned parents happy. After its release, WB knew it had something special with Batman, so a sequel to the summer blockbuster was a no-brainer. However, studio execs knew it would take years until the next Batman film would hit theaters. It was at this time that Warner Brothers decided to make an animated anthology series featuring Batman in his familiar rogues gallery to keep fans happy while they waited eagerly for the next Batman film. Batman the Animated Series made its debut on Fox Kids on September 5th, 1992. With a total of 85 episodes, the show lasted for 2 seasons. Kevin Conroy led the cast as the voice of Batman and Bruce Wayne. Conroy's unique voice, which was gentle yet powerful, made his emotional performance iconic. As we all have come to know, Batman isn't complete without his arch nemesis, the Joker. Mark Hamill voiced the clown prince of crime. With his high-pitched, maniacal laugh, he made the show that much better. These two performances set the bar for the rest of the cast and crew of this great show. The show was set during the period of the 1940s in Gotham City, which was modeled after New York City. The cars, police blimps, skyscrapers, and the fashion all represented the era of the 1940s. The creators of the show took influence from the stylistic approach of Tim Burton's Batman 1989 and Batman Returns. Show creator Eric Radomski specifically wanted all backgrounds to be designed on dark paper with light colors instead of the industry standard of white paper. This gave Gotham City its signature look. Artist Bruce Timm was responsible for design of all the characters with the exception of a few. Paul Dini, who played another major role in the success of the series, was a writer, producer, and editor. Unlike other animated shows that featured superheroes, the creators of the animated series pushed the envelope as much as they could. The show tackled issues such as death and mental illness. Guns were heavily used by villains. There was violence and some mature themes. However, show creators still made it appropriate for children to enjoy. Batman's infamous rogues gallery was along for the ride. This included classic villains such as the Joker, the Penguin, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, Catwoman, and so many more iconic villains. At the request of WB, the Penguin's design was based off of Danny DeVito's portrayal in Batman Returns. Just like Batman Returns, the Penguin has bird-like features. His nose is a sharp pointed beak, and his hands are deformed. Arguably one of the best portrayed villains in this show is Two-Face. One of the best episodes, titled Two-Face, which is a two-parter, we learn about what drove a decent man over the edge to a life of crime. He is voiced by the late Richard Mole. Two-Face was once District Attorney Harvey Dent, who intended to clean up the crime in Gotham. However, Dent has an ugly side to him that he doesn't want the public to see. Later, Dent falls victim to a freak accident, leaving half his face physically scarred. This pushed Dent over the edge and to commit to a life of crime as Two-Face. Once great friends, Bruce Wayne does everything he can to help Harvey Dent get better. This was an ongoing theme throughout the series. Batman was tough on crime. However, there was a side to him that believed rehabilitation was possible for criminals and there was good in everyone. Mixing Batman's compassion with Kevin Conroy's warm, powerful voice made the casting a home run. Mr. Freeze, another classic Batman character, was reinvented by the creators. Dr. Victor Freeze is on a mission to cure his terminally ill wife, Nora. However, after a fight breaks out in his lab, Freeze falls victim to a chemical that changes his body composition completely. After, Freeze can only live in sub-zero temperatures and becomes the villain Mr. Freeze. His mission is to save his wife at all costs, and if anyone gets in his way, they face a chilly doom. This episode, titled Heart of Ice, which is the first appearance of Mr. Freeze, won a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program and remains a fan favorite. The show also featured some new characters such as fan favorite Harley Quinn. She was voiced by Arlene Sorkin, who was the perfect fit with her high-toned, bubbly voice. Despite being on a crowded list of characters that already had decades of exposure, Quinn created her own niche and birthed a huge fan base. After the first season's major success, the studio demanded Robin be in every episode to make it more relatable to kids. The show was then retitled The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Other allies of Batman were also heavily involved in the show, such as his witty butler Alfred. The show touched on a complex relationship between Batman and the Gotham City Police Department, where some treated him as a villain, and others, such as Commissioner Jim Gordon, treated him as an ally and friend. The show focused heavily on the psychology of Bruce Wayne and his duality of a double life, one as a rich playboy and the other a masked vigilante who fought crime to avenge his parents' death. A perfect example of this was an episode titled Perchance to Dream, which was Kevin Conroy's favorite episode. In this episode, Bruce Wayne wakes up and his life that he once knew has completely changed. His parents are alive, the Batcave doesn't exist, he's engaged to Selina Kyle, and Batman is somebody else. Bruce, angry and confused, fights to find out the truth. Is this a dream, or is this reality? You just didn't see stories like these in other kids' cartoons during this time. While Batman was fighting crime, Shirley Walker's beautiful score was the icing on the cake. Walker was a composer for a majority of the music for Batman the Animated Series. She also won an Emmy for her work on the show and became a pioneer for women composers. The show did so well that many adaptations of Batman since have used the show as an influence. Voice actors Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill did so well with their performances that they continued playing their characters for 3 decades. Sadly, Kevin Conroy passed away in 2022, after Mark Hamill decided to hang up the purple suit for good and retire from the role since he no longer felt he should be involved without Kevin Conroy. Over 30 years later since Batman the Animated Series hit TV screens, it still has a huge fan base. Fans often reminisce about their favorite episodes. Everyone seems to disagree on who played Batman the best, but everyone can agree that Batman the Animated Series was a cut above the rest and still stands the test of time.